Hello, dear students. This is Sushma Singh from Booster Classes, and I welcome you back to my class with a very big heart. Students, believe me, you all will be greatly benefited from today's session, wherein I'm going to give you a detailed analysis of one of the finest and most popular poems written by an American poet, Robert Frost. The name of this wonderful poem is The Road Not Taken, which is from Beehive book or Standard 9 CBSE. So students, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more comprehensive study materials. The Road Not Taken is a narrative poem which is also an extended metaphor flooded with tons of meaning. Hence, reading between the lines can only help you comprehend the symbolic poem with ease. So, in this module, for all-inclusive study of the poem, I'm going to cover its theme, the tone and the style of the poem, line by line explanation, the literary elements used in this poem, and of course, comprehension check at the end. Considering the tone and the style of this remarkable poem, we can say the tone of the poet is contemplative when he is making the decision, and again he becomes regretful when he's unable to take both the roads, and finally he is grateful because he is glad as destiny has it, and that has made all the difference. Now, Road Not Taken is a narrative poem, and the simplicity, clarity, and preciseness are the hallmarks of all the four stanzas, each consisting of 5 lines, and the rhyming scheme of this poem is A B A A B. Let's take a look at the theme. The major theme of the poem is about making choices. We cannot get everything in life, and so we have to make choices. But one should not take decision in haste, as wrong decision or choice can spoil the whole life. It is only after the passage of years that we can really evaluate the decisions and the choices that we make based on the results of these choices. If we make the right choice, we actually safeguard our future. It also teaches us the importance of making the best use of time and opportunity, as well as to accept challenges in life and to take risk. Here is the line by line explanation of stanza 1 with critical comments. The opening line of the poem plunges us straight into the poet's narrative. He says that on a fine morning during the autumn, the poet, while walking through a forest, comes to a fork leading to different destinations. And being a lone traveler, he is regretting that he is unable to walk on both the road at the same time. Hence, it becomes imperative for him to choose one. Thus, he feels sorry that he cannot walk on both the roads. As he is indecisive, he lingered on for some time at the crossroad to examine carefully the two roads in order to make up his mind as to which road he should take for the journey. However, he cannot see very far as the forest is dense and the road is not straight. Now, students, this was the literal meaning of stanza 1, and considering the figurative meaning, we can say that the journey represents life and the fork relates to the choices we have to make in our life. And the yellow wood is indicating autumn season, which symbolizes a time of maturity, a time to make choices. And the undergrowth that blocks the poet's view represents our inability to see the future. Indeed, the stanza is all about the role of choice and uncertainty in our life. In the second stanza, you will find that the poet, after long contemplation, he finds that the first road is much used while the second one is less traveled. So he decides to choose the second path, which is less traveled and is full of grass, as well as does not have a worn-out look. Now this appeals to him a lot. Moreover, he believes that traveling on the second road will be more rewarding as it promises adventure and freshness. Now students, here you will keep in mind that the poet's choice, that is the less traveled by road, reveals the adventurous and bold nature of the poet, as he did not take the beaten track, the normal track. However, the poet seems uncertain about his decision when he declares that there will be no real difference between the roads because his going through the road will have worn it about the same. Now, the figurative meaning of the stanza underlines the nature of people in general, that we will always choose the path which seems attractive and which is of interest to us. Proceeding further to stanza 3, we can see that in the morning both the roads are covered with leaves which are not black by steps crushing them. Perhaps the poet is the first to travel down the roads on that day. Both the roads are equally fresh, attractive, and promising, and he hopes to take up and travel the first road. Remember, students, which one is the first road? The much traveled by, the beaten track, sometime later in future. Yet he is apprehensive and has a very genuine doubt if it would be possible for him to return to the fog and to take the road which he has left for another day. Because it is a well-known fact that all the roads keep branching out, leading to many more roads, and it is not possible to travel all the way back to the starting point. Considering the figurative meaning, in the case of decision made in life, it is same. One cannot retrace one's steps back to try a second decision, as a decision already made leads to another and yet another. In the concluding stanza, the poet imagines himself in the distant future, looking back on his choice and expressing to others about how he was compelled to choose one road out of two, and about his experience of traveling the second less traveled road. He would be telling all this with a sigh, either with relief that he had made the right choice, or he would sigh with regret that his decision was wrong. Whether right or wrong, the choice, the decision that he takes at the fork in the forest will be responsible for all the difference that is going to occur in his life. But he is glad, as destiny has it. It was the right decision for him. Now, looking at the figurative meaning of the stanza, we can say that it is not in our hands to decide the kind of experience and opportunities that the road has in store for us. So, we should be wise and careful while making choices in our life, as our future depends on the choices that we are making today. So, it is said that our future is safeguarded if today our choice, the choice made by us, is the correct one. This poem is also noted for the remarkable use of various poetic devices which have effectively enhanced the beauty of this symbolic poem. In this slide, students, you can find all the literary devices used by the poet are mentioned along with explanation. For your better understanding, you can simply note them down. You can see the poet has used alliteration in the line because it was grassy and wanted wear. Again, alliteration has been used in the line I kept for the first for another day. Anaphora is used in line 2, 3 and 4. Imagery in the very opening line when the poet says two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and assonance is there in that line yellow wood, you can say. And the most important poetic device used here, as this poem is a symbolic one, number of symbolism and metaphors are there. Road is the symbol of course or journey of life, and fork is the symbol of choices one has to make in life. Yellow represents the autumn season, which is the symbol of hope, light, and promise. And you can also say the maturity time. Enjambment also the poet has used in the line, though as for that passing there had warned them really about the same. So please take a note of all the poetic devices used here. Now it's time for comprehension check. I'm pretty sure that you all must have understood the core of this beautiful poem. Here you will find a few important questions from the poem for your comprehension check. Taking help from the explanation which I have just given to you, try to solve them and enrich your understanding. Keep watching and keep learning, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.